Hi, this is Dimitri Argyros from Silver & Young Private Wealth, and this is another episode Behind the Wealth. Today's subject is a subject that it's very close to my heart for some reason, uh, and it is about financial education and your younger children. Um, Please, whatever we say today, consider it only as a general advice, and if you have any question, give us a call or email us at pw@silverandyoung.com.au or call us on 9600 I'm amazed so many times when I see families of multi-generational families, and they are all very financially strong. And then I see other families, multi-generation families, and they are really, I cannot say struggling, but they could done a lot better than they have done if you consider the good wages, the good employment history they have. I'm amazed when I see, the fathers that they are now probably in 60s, they bring their children for advice, and they are in mid 30s, and how much wealth these children have compared to other young men and women that they're struggling to pay the credit cards, struggling to pay the cars and the lifestyle. And I'm always amazed, what is this the difference? The first group, to my limited, of course, knowledge I have about these families, they don't really provide money and handouts to the children, but they provided a constant education about how to manage their McDonald's wages, their the first full-time job after uni, or if they became a tradesperson, how to invest and buy a little apartment as soon as possible to use the savings. Compared to the second group, that they're getting very good wages, as good as the first group of young people, but they have nothing to show at mid 30s a lot of times. When they start really concerned because they start in a family, and they're really, really upset because they missed a bit of valuable time. And they try to do a lot to catch up. And of course, it's a lot harder work to start your financial accumulation of assets at 30s compared if you started at 20s, because it is, of course, the knowledge gap that slowly you acquire when you start in an early age, and also the compounding effect of the benefits you have by starting at an early age. One common denominator I find between the children, they're financially educated, and please, it is irrelevant of the formal education. I've seen children with a very financially educated and have very limited formal education. And I've seen children, young men or women that are very, very highly educated and have no financial education at all. So it is coming really from home. It doesn't really come from uni. It doesn't really come from the French. Sometimes it's come from the French if they're lucky enough. One friend pushes to the other as a good influence, but usually it's coming from the home. And I've seen families that the grandparents are very, very, very financially smart, and the kids who are now in 80 years old, and the kids that their children who are 65 or 60 or 55, also very financially strong. And now the third generation, which is mid-20s, also financially strong. And there is no handouts, as most people they think, they give a bit extra pocket money, give a bit extra push. Yes, it could be, but it's not that the critical point that they make them financially educated, a financial abilities to be more sharp. It is probably the way of living. It is the influence of the family. It is the influence of the example the parents give to the children. Very strong saving attitudes, very strong work ethics, very strong ability not to demand too much when they don't have a lot to offer. Sometimes I've seen young men and young women, they want everything today when they have really very little to offer to their employers, but still they demand high wages. So they can't take every job available because they're looking for a better job, more money, compared to the person who takes a lower paid job and then he builds up his skills and he goes higher and higher and higher. So how you can really, if you are a young parent in the early 30s, influence your children or late 20s and influence your children to be financially educated? I believe it is yourself has first to become financially educated. Be open with your children. Doesn't really matter how old they are, to their level, of course. Open to the discussion. Involve them in your budget. Maybe in the early days, the very simple budget, like go shopping for the groceries. And later on, when you buy a car, later on when you buy a house, or you do an investment portfolio. If the child has some cash reserves from grandparents' presents, from people that have the good habit to put a small amount of dollars every week or every month for the child, this is another good reason. Involve them in that share portfolio that you're building for them. If you do that, and be enjoying the ride when it appreciates, and also evaluate the pain when depreciates because Telstra or BHP went down, and this is the two shares they have, and they drop 5 or 10% down. This interaction on a very small amount in multiple time frames, it brings an enormous amount of education, because don't forget, it's a lot easier for us to succeed in things that we are familiar with instead of things that we are not familiar with. And I remember a researcher that he came and he did an interview with me 25 years ago for new migrants in Australia. He told me that he wanted his kids to become doctors, and because all his family are from doctor background, he always bought little toys that they pretend you are a doctor or a nurse or anything like this. And the three kids, I think he had, one became a doctor, one became a pharmacist, and I can't remember what the third did. But of course, your personal view could say this is restrictive, the child, and you could do a lot better in other stuff. Yeah, yes, I don't disagree with that, and I'm not saying this is the only way. What I'm trying to say is, the more familiar is your child with financial aspects, the more financially educated can be, and will have this desire to control his finance from a very young age. And then when he's mid-30s, mid-40s, we'll be a lot in a better position, and you as a proud father or mother for your child, that is managing their affairs a lot better than other people you may know. So the moral of the story of this video, it is simple. Involve your children on your financial decisions, educate yourself for the sake of yourself to increase your wealth and maintain your wealth. And also, by you having more, you can give more to your children through your education and your experience. Don't be afraid to challenge from your child. And a lot of times the child, you bypass you and overpass your ability to create wealth. And you need to be proud of that. And I'm sure you're going to be proud of that. And financial education, it is not enough, and it's not given enough from the formal education. So if you don't care, and if you don't provide to your child, to your children, you have two other options. Or if they are very blessed and very lucky to like that subject and do well with that, or just do the normal of the majority of the population, that they start doing and address these issues in a later stage, and they miss this 10, 15 years of early stage between, say, 15, 16, when they start working, to 30, and they try to do a catch-up scenario. So I believe, as a parent, it's an immoral obligation to educate financially your child, as it's a moral obligation to give to your child your values, your principles, before anyone else give their values and their principles to them. At least you have the best interest of your child to give your values and your principles to them, and they're free after that to accept them or reject them if they are not happy with them. But at least they have a better opportunity to get values from someone they love. And also, it's important for you to give financial education as much as you can inside your abilities, or surround him with people who have this financial education and ability, and they're happy to provide and give to you, like a grandparent, an uncle, an auntie, a very good friend, to bring the subject and the discussion with your child. And there is not enough young the child to know. And I'm not talking for the child to be obsessed by creation wealth, because also this is not healthy, but you need to give them education to be a balanced person. And I believe financial education is part of raising a balanced child. This is Dimitri from Silver & Young Private Wealth. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please give us a call on 96007760. Email us at pw@silverandyoung.com.au. If you like our videos, please recommend it to your friends, like us, and till next time, have a good day.